No, you're born gifted. Use it. Oh, hello. Hello, Internet. Talking to gifted people. Speaking of gifted people, how are you all doing? I hope that you are feeling well and gifted, ensconced in your happy lives. Hopefully, well ensconced in whatever lives you happen to be living. So, today's lesson about marketing is all about, well, as you probably read the title, and it's kind of an obvious one for some people, and not so much for others. If you've ever heard of a game called Dungeons and Dragons, which many people have played over the years, there was an item in it called a Staff of Lordly Might, or a Rod of Lordly Might, something like that. Well, this is all about, if you're running marketing for a company, how to implement the powers of your Staff of Loudly Might. What do I mean, your Staff of Loudly Might? Kind of being obvious here. It means use all the elements at your disposal, all the resources, either human or otherwise, right? Either financial assets, media assets, whatever they are. When you're marketing, you have to carry messages forth. And you have to do that sometimes louder than others. And it very often will behoove you to be the loudest messenger. When you go into a town, if you were to go into an old medieval or Renaissance town, or even certain places in England today at certain times of certain events, and an old town crier would come out. Why do they call him the town crier? Does he get into the middle of the town and cry? No, he cries out, as in the expression to cry out, to shout loudly, right? To speak very loudly, with passion and emotion, to bring a message forth. Well, the old town crier is the new town marketer in many senses. Whereas the old town crier would carry the marketing messages of the royalty. And in some places they still do, right? Like in England, when the old town crier, the royal crier, brings forth the news of royal babies being born or whatever it might be. Well, the same thing is true for the modern marketer. It's your role to be as loud and vocal as you can. And there's no shame in that. It is the role of the marketer. And some people will say, oh, I don't like to be noisy. I like to do my work quietly. Well, then you're kind of doing marketing wrong. Yes, you individually may not have to stand in the middle of the town square and shout. But if your job is to market, that is to get the word out, you're not going to get the word out by being the most silent in the bunch. Unless your type of silence is lethal and makes a huge impact, like a sniper in a commando unit, which is not a marketing job, right? Yes, it may have the same impact. It may create legends and myth and lore about your unit in enemy ranks and even within your own armed forces. But that's not a traditional marketing job by any measure, and it's certainly not one you're going to get paid to do as a marketer. Right? That is a soldier's job, very specialized sort of soldier's job. So, barring that you are most probably not unless you happen to be both of the world's most deadly sniper, like a ghost sniper or something that everybody fears and has legends and lore about. The most probable way for you to make noise and build legend and lore and myth and desire for your products or services that you're marketing is going to be to wield your staff of loudly might. And whether that staff is just you or involves a second person or maybe many more, that is all a matter of circumstance. Right? Where is the company that you are marketing in terms of their life cycle? Are they a brand new company? Are they a company that's got lots and lots of resources available for the marketing task at hand? Or is it more likely that the people that you're marketing to and you're marketing for are in a more normalized distribution model of resources available, audience sizes desired to be reached, target markets, target demographics, etc. More than probably, you fall within the normal bell curve of distribution. And that's good. And why is that good? That's good because there's a lot of greenery there. And by a lot, I mean really a lot. There's a lot of lush resources available. Hard facts. The biggest resources are available to those in the middle of the bell curve. That is why the middle of the bell curve is it's because the largest amount of resources are in the middle of that bell curve. So that is why, like I said, the middle of the bell curve is. It's not an accident that the bell curve distribution is generally weighted in the center. So be aware. Be aware to use your resources properly when you market. Am I droning on yet? Maybe. Maybe you find this good to fall asleep to. I don't know. Maybe it's bathroom video for you. Is that a thing? I'm guessing people do that. I know some do. In fact, well, maybe I'll save that for another bathroom humor episode, or toilet humor episode, or toilet tube episode, or how to target people sitting on the porcelain goddess episode. How to get people when they're sitting down. How to get people when they're flush with interest. How to turn paper rolls into, how to turn toilet paper rolls into exciting B-roll. Or vice versa. But who uses film anyway nowadays? Again, yes, this is about marketing, but also, as you can see, it's about jumping from topic to topic. So it's meanderings. Meanderings. meandering thoughts I find are very useful exercises, especially early on in the day when you get the noodle cooking, to go about many things that there are to do in the given day. It's good to let out all the abstract flowing juices so that by the time you get to where you're going to do your work, you can be fully focused like a laser beam to be most efficacious with the time that you have to do your work. And that's all I'll say about marketing for now. Of course, there's always infinitely more to say about it. But what I will say is if you're marketing crypto at the moment, well, you ought to be enjoying these times. These are indeed the salad days. What do I mean by the salad days? I mean, these are the times which bring a lot of reward for those who take a lot of risk and manage it properly. At the same time, it also brings a lot of potential downside for those who mismanage the opportunity. Right? So pick what you sow carefully. Choose what you sow wisely so that you can reap what you sow, and may it be a bountiful harvest for ye in times to come. And on that note, I'll hop over to the mindset of, if you've been looking at, and I'm sure none of you have, because if you looked at this video at all, you might have been interested about what I said in the title. It has nothing to do with what I'm about to say, but it does have to do with what I talk about quite frequently, which is trading Bitcoin and other cryptos. If you're looking at Bitcoin, for example, over the weekend and wondering, is it going to go up or down? Well, if you were reading the VEPs, you kind of knew that there'd be a bit of a dump late Sunday, early Monday, depending on where you are in the world. Midday Monday, if you're out in like Australia or Kiribati, I guess, or a place like that. But what you should remember is that it was very clear that the probability of having a relatively flat weekend on an asset like Bitcoin this past weekend was incredibly high. And yes, there were tiny hills, tiny scalps you could have taken and traded. And if you did on the lower time frames and you ended up like gangbusters taking those quick scalps, well, mazel tov, right? You did the do that you're supposed to do when you're trading with the VEPs. But that doesn't mean that this week is going to be quite as quiet as the weekend was. In fact, there's a pretty good probability that there'll be more action today, at the start of the week, as traditional markets open in the US, and then even more on Tuesday through Friday as various intersects line up and other emotions all align. And these things matter because of maths. Because investors want returns. Traders want returns. That's what they're trading for. At least those that know that they're trading for that. Most traders who are retail traders don't even know that they're trading for returns. They just think they're trading for profit. Well, profit is a byproduct of positive returns. Right? Now, you can profit on negative returns too. as long as the returns in your book are positive, as long as your P&L is on the positive side, you can profit whatever direction the asset's going. So bear that in mind. Do not try to basically outsmart the smart money. Instead, trade on the math that they trade on so that you can get the coattails of it and not get stuck in the losses that are so common amongst retail traders. And on that note, bid you happy marketing and happy trading and happy days. See ya.